Hello everyone and welcome. So in today's video, we're going to be going over my current PC specs, my old PC specs for when I first built my PC in 2023. We're going to go over my peripherals as well as some of my desk accessories and also go over why I upgraded some of my PC parts, whether because I wanted to or because I had to. So yeah, stay tuned for all of that. So I've posted my current PC build quite a bit on this channel, whether in like YouTube Shorts or in my room tour, and I absolutely love my PC. It is very close to my dream PC, and I'm so excited to talk about it again because I love it so much. So starting off with the specs for my current PC, we have a Hyte Y70 case in taro milk, this gorgeous purple color that is literally like my dream case. Like, I wanted a purple case when I first built my computer and couldn't find any, and so when this case went up for pre-order last year, oh my gosh, you know I had to have it. We'll talk about it a little bit more later, but let's get to the rest of the specs. So for motherboard, I have an MSI MAG B760 Tomahawk DDR4. For storage, I have a Samsung 1TB 980 Pro SSD. Processor is an Intel i7-12700K. The GPU is a GeForce RTX 3060. The cooler is an NZXT Kraken Elite 280. And then the fans are the NZXT 120 size fans, which, just side note real quick, NZXT might not be the best company to support. If you want to check out Gamers Nexus video on them, they kind of go in deeper into the situation. But yeah, I bought those before all of that stuff about NZXT came out. So, you know, just buy at your own risk, you know, do your research a little bit, see if you want to support them still. But one more thing that I forgot to include is my PSU, which is MSI MPG A850G PSU. And also the RAM is Corsair Vengeance DDR4 RAM. So I originally built my PC back in June of 2023 after a year of thinking about it and a year of being like, I don't know if I can build a PC. It seems kind of difficult. I just decided to bite the bullet and just try. So my budget for my build was about $1,500. I didn't want anything like super expensive because stuff in 2023 was like going down in price after the pandemic, but some stuff was still pretty high. So I was like, I'm just gonna try to stick to $1,500 budget. And obviously my main priority for my build was for gaming. I wanted it to be basically budget efficient, but also able to run any game that I wanted it to run. So nothing really has changed as far as like motherboard, GPU, CPU, all of that is still the same. The main things that I have changed, however, have been the case, the cooler, the fans, and the RAM. So the first thing that I had to change was my PSU. So my old PSU was the Corsair RM850x PSU, and it only lasted me about like 7 or 8 months. Back in like the beginning of 2024, I would have this problem when I was running games where like my monitor would shut off, my PC would stay on, and like I could still hear my games, but like my screen would just go black. So I was like, okay, well, is this a monitor issue? Like when it first happened, and then my PC would shut down and just like restart itself. So I was like, okay, well, that's obviously not a monitor problem. So I went to my trusty resource, Reddit, and looked up my specific problem. And sure enough, I found one thread with someone with my exact same problem. and his problem was the PSU. So I was like, oh great, I probably have to get a new PSU. So I did, and as soon as I changed out my PSU, my problem was totally solved. I haven't had that problem again. So that was just one of the times where I had to upgrade. And the next thing that happened was in the summer, I believe, of 2024, my computer started giving me the blue screen of death. When I was running Stardew Valley. Okay, I was playing Stardew Valley, and my computer just gave me the blue screen of death, and I was like, am I cooked? Like, what the fuck is going on? So, based on like the little code that was popping up on my screen, like during the blue screen of death, I suggested a RAM problem. And my old RAM was the Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro. So I was like, oh, great, another Corsair product that's going out on me. Awesome. So this time I actually reached out to Corsair. It was like, hey, this RAM I've had like only a year. It is giving me a blue screen of death. And I know that it's the RAM because I switched out RAM with a backup and it worked totally fine. So I sent in my old RAM for an exchange or warranty or whatever, and they did send me back new RAM, but I still have my backup RAM in my computer because I was like, whatever, I'm not even gonna mess with it. The RAM that they sent me is going to be my backup RAM. So yeah, moral of those two stories is I'm staying away from all Corsair PC components because, you know, twice your computer products go out on me. Absolutely not ever again. Even though my backup RAM is Corsair that I have in my computer, I won't buy any more Corsair products brand new unless it's cases, because I did like my Corsair 4000D flow case, which is what I'm going to talk about next. Because the only reason that I switched out my Corsair 4000D flow case was because Hyte put out the gorgeous purple Y70, and it is literally my dream case. Like I said before, I was looking for a purple case when I originally built my PC, and there weren't any that existed. Like, if you're a girl and you like some color in your setup, basically your only options are white and pink. So I was like, well, I guess I'll just go with black. I mean, obviously I like black. So I was like, well, it's not my first choice of color, but I mean, I'll go with my black case. So the 4000D flow case is a really good one. I found it to be kind of small to build in, but other than that, it's a great case. I still have it down there, like between this table and my desk, and one day I might do another build in it, kind of like a way more budget build or something like that in it. But for right now, it just kind of rests over there in that corner. It's kind of like a makeshift table right now. But anyways, when Hyte put that case up for pre-order, I was like, oh, it's expensive. It's like $200 and something, but I was like, you know what? Fuck it. It's a week before my birthday, and I'm gonna pre-order it. So I did. It was like a little birthday present to myself, and I'm so happy I did. It is so stunning. When I pulled it out of the box, I was like, oh, I love it so much. It's so roomy. It looks like a fish tank, and if it was sealed, you could probably use it as a fish tank, but it's so pretty, and it's just my dream case. I love it so much, and literally the only reason that I upgraded my case was for aesthetic purposes. Which, you know what, it's fine. It's my PC. I want it to look a certain way, so I'm gonna make it look how I want to. But the last thing, or two things, I guess, that I changed were my cooler and the fans. So a couple of weeks after I changed out my RAM. My computer shuts off because it says it's overheating. My CPU is overheating. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? So I was like, that's obviously my cooler's dead. My AIO is dead. So it had been making kind of like a little bit of a whining noise. Like, it wasn't super loud, but I definitely noticed that it was different. But I was just kind of like, oh well, it's fine. It's fine. My CPU is still being cooled. It's fine. It was not fine. It went out on me. And at first I was just gonna like buy a cheap like AIO or even like air cooler. Then I was like, you know what? I'll take this opportunity to buy an AIO that I see everywhere and that I really like and would let me customize my PC even more. And that was the NZXT Kraken Elite 280. My justification for it was, fuck it, my computer's been giving me so much shit this past month, I'm gonna buy something cool. So that's what I did. And I do really like it. The screen is nice. It's nice that all of the controls are kind of in one place with the NZXT software, but on the downside is that that's not the best software either. So, you know, kind of a toss-up on whether or not it's worth it for you. Honestly, if I was gonna go with CPU cooler, like suggestion for you guys, there are other ones with screens that I feel like could be better options, just because at the end of the day, I feel like you would kind of want to avoid NZXT now. Just with kind of their scummy business practices. Their products aren't bad, but the business practices are scummy. So my Deepcool LS720 went out on me, and that was the last thing that I had to upgrade. And I upgraded the fans because I wanted all of the RGB control to just be in one place. So I went with the NZXT fans to match with my cooler. And so yeah, that brings me to the build that I have today. There was really no other reason to change the fans other than just to have it all in one place. I still have the Deepcool fans in my case. And another thing I forgot to mention, so the reason I couldn't even reach out to Deepcool about the warranty on my cooler was because they are currently sanctioned in the US and they are not allowed to sell in the US anymore. So yeah, that's been that way since like 2020, end of 2023, beginning of 2024. So yeah, I pretty much had to just get a completely new cooler for my computer. So yeah. So as for my peripherals, for monitor, I have an Acer 27-inch XZ272U monitor. It's a nice size curved monitor. And then my keyboard is an Epomaker TH80, I believe. Obviously purple. And then the mouse is the Logitech G305 mouse. And the headphones are Logitech G733. My main reason for getting most of these peripherals aside from the monitor is purple, because obviously, if you haven't found out yet, my PC theme is purple. I liked how they all had the option to be wireless. Like the keyboard is either wired or wireless. I use it with the wire just because I think it's just simpler to plug it in and it doesn't really get in my way. But for the mouse and the headset, I definitely wanted wireless because I just did not want those wires to be in my way. Sometimes, like when I'm gaming, I like to like pick up the mouse and like hold it and use it like that. So I didn't want to have to worry about any of the wires. And then with my headset, like I just feel like the wires are annoying. So I really like these ones. Alright, and then just real quick, covering the rest of the stuff behind my desk and on my desk, we have a Kuromi Girl print from Aster Sky, a little Devil Girl print by Toki Sprout, this heart light from Amazon that lights up purple. And then this is an IKEA Scottish pegboard where I hold my Switch, my controller, some little collectibles, and then my headphones. And then to the left of my monitor, I keep this owl bear plushie from Sugar Cubed Studios and this little Gale plushie from Baldur's Gate 3 that's by Rain Tides on Etsy. And then my desk mat is from Geekshare Plus. If you want like a more in-depth look of everything that's like up here and like these prints, I have all of that talked about in my room tour video. So yeah, that pretty much covers my whole PC build, both old and new. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like or leave me a comment. I'll leave all of my specs for my PC, both old and new, down in the description. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you later.